Hey, folks, welcome to Triple Crown Puroresu Podcast. I am your host, Lewis Harlan. Thank you so much for joining me. Sorry about that. We had a little bit of a technical difficulty to get started. I do apologize, but the big news of the day today is that let me fix the camera there. Let me fix some lighting. A little unprepared for this, restarting of Triple Crown Puroresu Podcast. Sorry about that, but we have a big show lined up for you today. Let me get things fixed here. Okay, hopefully we got some people watching. I do apologize for the technical difficulties that we experienced. But the big news of the day, we have a new GHC heavyweight champion in El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. He defeated Keno today at Crossover in Sendai. Big title change. But before we get into that, we got some guests. We got some guests that we want to speak to today. First, from Big Japan Pro Wrestling. He is the English commentator and in charge of English public relations. I'm going to bring him on right now. Very happy to welcome John Bullard. John, welcome to the show, man.
Lewis, it's an honor to be on. My good friend and my colleague in the world of media relations. It's always an honor.
Yeah, were you able to hear me when you were backstage when I was talking? I was just
a little
curious.
Bit, yeah.
Okay. Because we have another guest also. He's a good friend of mine, big pro wrestling fan, especially pro wrestling in Japan. I'm going to bring him on as well. He's actually big Japan pro wrestling fan as well as Ethan Black. Let's bring on Ethan Black. Let me get the right screen on here and let's add Ethan. There we go. Hey, Ethan. Ethan, can you hear me? Ethan, you're on. Can you hear me? Okay, I don't think Ethan can hear me, so let's remove Ethan for now, and let's got a few questions for you, John. Got a few questions for you if you don't mind.
Lewis, I like long walks on the beach. In case that's one of the first questions you want to know.
Yeah, that was my first question. That was my first question.
You got to break that ice. You got to break that ice sometimes.
Yeah, my first question is: do you like long walks on the beach, man?
I do. I do like to be romanticized sometimes. It feels nice to be treated special. Just saying.
Okay.
But, yeah.
That sounds good. I like long walks on the beach as well, man. But let's talk Big Japan Pro Wrestling. Let's not talk about beaches. So first question, man. You are the English public relations and commentator for Big Japan Pro Wrestling. Relatively a new gig for you. So how did this all come about?
Well, I've always been a huge fan of Big Japan Pro Wrestling. I've been involved in the professional wrestling business for off and on for almost about 20 years. Started when I was a teenager, 17. And, I saw the opportunity. Big Japan didn't have a English media representative. We have a lot of fans of Big Japan Pro Wrestling in the United States. I found out there's a lot of Canadian fans as well, too. But it's one of those things where I saw that as an opportunity. It's like, there's someone not presenting this to them in English, or at least being that English contact representative, where someone could ask a question like, hey, when's the next event, or what's going on with the next show at the Corrigan Hall? So I talked to the president of Big Japan Pro Wrestling, Iji Tosaka, and I presented the opportunity of what I could do for the company, and I was hired. So it's been a great relationship ever since, working right alongside with Tosaka and getting to know a lot of the guys on the roster personally, not just watching from the side, but getting to know them has been quite wonderful.
That's great, man. That's great. So do you feel English commentary is going to be vital for the growth of Big Japan Pro Wrestling?
Absolutely. I think it's the next step for a lot of the Japanese promotions. I mean, look what it's done for New Japan Pro Wrestling. When you look at 2012 New Japan compared to when they started doing English commentary, I believe it was 2015, the growth of the U.S. market alone started developing massively for New Japan. And now New Japan, of America, all the tours that they've been doing in the United States, it's really helped their product. And I feel like the same thing will be done for Big Japan Pro Wrestling. I think it's the next step for a lot of the Japanese promotions. I think a lot of them are understanding the importance of a global market, especially with English speakers in Europe and America that are huge fans of pro wrestling, and especially the Japanese style of pro wrestling. And I think that a lot of them are paying attention to it. The biggest uphill battle, probably, I will say, is sometimes the television networks may not fully understand the importance of that. A lot of them kind of feel like it should be Japanese first, which is nothing wrong with that because it's their country. But I think when you present the data and you present the information to them of how much this will help grow their markets, it changes their opinion real quick on what they see, especially when they look at how successful New Japan has been with the growth of the U.S. market.
All right, man. Ethan is back. Let's see if we could get Ethan back because I know he's a Big Japan. Ethan, let's get Ethan here. Ethan, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Ethan? Ethan, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Lewis. Can you hear me?
Okay, we can hear him now. Okay, there you go. There you go. Okay. Hey, we got John from Big Japan Pro Wrestling here. If you want to say hello to John. I can hear you loud and clear, yeah.
Hello, Ethan.
Ethan, can you hear John?
Hey.
All right, we're gonna. He's having some technical difficulties, man. So let's move on. So February 18th, the Big Japan Pro Wrestling World Strong Champion, one of my favorites, Yuya Aoki, is making his 7th title defense against a tough challenger, Kazumi Kikuta. Hope I pronounced that correctly.
Yeah, you did perfect.
Your thoughts on that one, and what can we expect, and what can the fans expect in that one? That's going to be a big match.
This is a match where it looked like Kikuta has had Yuya's number in a certain tag matches where he's actually got the pin. Just recently, Yuya got a pin back on him. So it's a game of one-upsmanship. The best way that I could describe this match to fans who've never seen Big Japan Pro Wrestling, it's like when you watch the Misawa versus Kawada type matches where, Misawa was kind of like this technical wizard in the ring. He was this guy who was such a wrestler's wrestler. And then with Kikuta, you have the Kawada style kicks. You have all these different variations of kicks and strikes. His martial arts background definitely shows. And this is a match between two fantastic wrestlers, but it's also the match of, can the mat technician defeat the human buzzsaw? And this match will definitely be a big fight atmosphere for the Strong Style Championship. That's
going to be a great. I know Kikuta has a pinfall victory over Aoki a few weeks ago, so that adds a lot of intrigue to the match. I can't wait for that match, and it's not going to be live in BJW Core, which is a great streaming service. If you don't subscribe, definitely subscribe to that. It's like $8. What, $8 Canadian? I think 6 or 7 US.
Yeah, 6 or 7 US is 888 yen.
Yeah.
But what's so fascinating is now, since I've joined with Big Japan Pro Wrestling, we've been doing our absolute best to make sure that shows are uploaded as quick as possible. It might take a week or so for certain shows, but now, we've been getting a lot of compliments from fans who are saying, man, the shows are coming up real quick now, and it's great. And, this is a good service. Like, they're happy to see all the updates and all the upgrades to BJW Core. And, I'm going to give Tosaka and the guys at the office credit too. They've been working double time to make sure that things are up to date. And of course, they give me the information when it would just press release. And today, actually, we're doing a big release on Sekimoto, brand new t-shirt. They'll be available at the Corkin Hall show. So I'm going to be dropped in on my Facebook and different groups. I'll tag you in this, Lewis. It's
of course,
a pretty wicked t-shirt, man. It's going to look really awesome.
I'm glad they're uploading quickly because I've been very vocal about that with you. So, because it's like, it was like what, January 20th, and they still had shows on, and no shows on from January as of yet. But now that I can notice it now. They're really pumping them in quickly, which I was watching the show. Was it the Market Death Match? I think it was.
Yeah, Deathmatch Market.
Yeah, I was watching that yesterday, and that was a great show. But back to Aoki, do you think he makes it to May 4th? of this year, which will mark 1 year as him being champion?
That's a good question because Kikuta has been on a hot streak of picking up some big wins. Do I think he's going to win? I have a strong feeling that he will pull something out of his bag of tricks when it comes to all of his mat wrestling and his skills on the mat. I can see him probably using one of his pinfall counters that he has to probably maybe catch Kikuta off guard.
Okay.
But also, it's kind of hard to say, hey, I don't see Kikuta winning because, man, he's been picking up wins. He's earning that reputation as the next main event guy for a reason. He's good.
Yeah, he's I got Aoki. Aoki's my guy. Aoki's my guy. So I got Aoki to win this match and to make it to May 4th. I don't know. Do you think he'll have another title defense before May 4th, or do you think this will be? Well, it's only February, so he should have at least one.
Oh yeah. If he retains at this Corrigan Hall show, yes. Because the one thing I would give Yuya credit, he's been a fighting champion. Oh, yeah. That's a guy who's defended the belt against anyone who stepped up to the plate.
How do you feel he ranks amongst other promotions champions, like a Tetsuya Naito or well, it's not Keno anymore. It's El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr.
Yeah, or Yuki. Right? Wagner.
I was shocked. I was going to talk about that after we're done here. I mean, if you want to stick around and talk about that match,
sure.
Yeah, we could stick around. I know Ethan wanted to talk about. I'll bring Ethan on after we're done talking about Big Japan. But I was shocked. I was. My hands over my mouth. I couldn't believe what was going on because I know Keno. Well, we'll talk about Keno. Let's stick to Big Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
We'll talk Keno. So how do you think he ranks amongst those other champions?
I think Yuya deserves to be mentioned in the same breath as those guys. He's a tremendous wrestler. He's a wrestler's wrestler, and he's also been a champion of the people. Anytime you watch his Big Japan shows, the fans love him. He was when he beat Yuji for that title, it was an underdog story because a lot of people didn't think he was going to be the one to win. And when he did it, it was like the people were like, "Yep, it's about time now that the former junior heavyweight now steps up to the ranks of the heavyweights and get this run." And I think he's been a phenomenal champion. I think he's been a fighting champion. He's someone that I also believe that the office of Big Japan knows that he's dependable. He's someone that won't make the company look bad. He's an honorable person, and he's an honorable champion. I think he deserves to be held in the same regard as the other gentlemen from the other promotions, in my opinion.
I agree. Like I said, he's my guy. I'm a big
and he's a great guy in person too. When you get the chance, even if you talk to him on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, when you get the chance to say just hello to him, he's such a polite guy.
All right. Hopefully I get to say, hopefully I have him here with me one day on the show. I love to have him. I love to interview him. So let's switch gears. Let's talk deathmatch. Your opinion on Yushi Ishikawa? He's quite a talent, but your opinion on him?
He's great. He's another one, a young wrestler. When people think about the deathmatch scene for Big Japan, of course, they look at the wrestlers like Ito, Abdullah Kobayashi, Yuki Miyamoto. So, you had the guard that has been carrying that division for a while, but Big Japan was needing, no pun intended, new blood to carry that division. And Ishikawa has picked up the mantle as the guy who's been a reigning and fighting deathmatch champion. Of course, he had the series of matches with an American deathmatch legend, Madman Pondo.
Yeah.
And of course, Ishikawa retained his title, or regained it, I should say, at the Shinkiba show. So he's been a defending champion. He's took on all challengers, no matter how big and tall they are or how they're the same size as him. He's been a giant slayer, and he's also had wars against his fellow countrymen. And right now, he's got Tsukamoto breathing down his neck for that championship match because, man, Takumi has had a couple of wins against Yuki in tag matches, and so it's pretty straightforward that's going to become a war between those two because Tsukamoto usually has always been the tag team stablemate of Takeda. They're part of the tag team known as the Crazy Lovers. And they've had a series of matches with Ishikawa and his tag team partner. And those matches have been great just to watch. Anybody watches BJW Core, check out those tag team matches because it's worth the money alone. No matter if you don't like death matches, all four of those guys are great talents in the ring. But I feel like Ishikawa was great. He's definitely picked up the mantle. I also think Kamatani Hideyoshi is another guy on the roster. I've been talking to the BJW office about hopefully seeing him come to the United States to wrestle pretty soon because a lot of those guys when they're building up, they get at least that excursion for them to travel to the United States or travel to Europe. And I've been letting him know at the office with Tasaka-san, how important it would be to see Kamatani. I think Ishikawa should come to the United States with the promotions that I work for here and also my promotion as well to give them that opportunity to travel to the United States and showcase what they do.
You think we could see a full-fledged BJW tour of the United States or maybe even Canada?
That's the thing I'm working towards, and it's probably one of those down the line, but not one of those don't count it out because they're picking up steam. They're definitely getting more and more viewers and people who are now. The funny thing is like I was a big Japan fan back in the early 2000s when I was a kid in high school. And to watch that company grow over the years in different decades and different eras, we're into a new era of Big Japan. And to see where they're going is exciting. I think that it would be a possibility to see more of their stars come to the United States. I know with Game Changer Wrestling, they have a huge event coming up with Ito and Abdullah, both coming over to wrestle on the show. And it's a 2-night show, I believe, that they have coming up. And it's in New Jersey. And just to see that both those guys were icons of that promotion to wrestle for GCW. So that's a good start. And of course, wasn't too long ago, we've had a couple, excuse me, we had a couple of the other guys last year also come to the United States and wrestle for a couple of the promotions that I work for. We've actually had Abdullah Kobayashi come up to Ruthless Pro Wrestling. But also, we had the legendary Shadow WX, another legend and icon of Big Japan Pro Wrestling, wrestled there as well. So, get the chance to work with those guys in person. Like the inner kid in me who grew up watching them was like, man, this is so cool that now I get to call this person a peer. Get to work with them. So. I think we're going to see a lot more of the Big Japan talent come over. Tosaka wants to see Kamatani come to the United States because it's one of Kamatani's dreams. He's a young guy, and he's put in the work for Big Japan, both as a strong style wrestling champion, but also as a deathmatch wrestler as well. And he wants to see his dream be achieved because he knows that this would mean a lot to Hideyoshi. So I'm hoping that we could help him grasp that brass ring and show the world his talent.
Now, you said not everybody is a fan of death matches, which is true. They aren't for everyone. If someone came up to you and say that death matches don't belong in pro wrestling, how would you respond to them?
The same thing, though, that I look at this, pro wrestling came from the days of the carnivals and the circus. Yeah. And the circus had different acts. The circus, you had the trapeze artist, you had the lion tamer, you had the human cannonball. Old school carnival circuses, you had the freak show. Yeah. So to say like this doesn't have anything belong, well, it's the same thing. You look at the carnival and say, well, the freak show don't belong in the carnival. But the freak show was one of the biggest attractions. Sometimes in life that we come across the car accident. And we don't want to see a car accident. No one ever wants to see someone get hurt. But the morbid curiosity, we all do this number. We turn our heads and we stare out the window because we can't help but want to see it.
That's true.
We're human beings. It's our weird morbid curiosity to see stuff. It's the Roman Colosseum. The best way I explain deathmatch wrestling to anybody, if they're a fan of it or not, is the closest thing that we get to seeing a gladiator fight between two combatants going to war with each other. And Yeah, I mean it's intense. Some people I have found don't care for it, but then I met some people who said they never thought they would like it until they went to a live show, and all of a sudden they became a fan of it. And it's an interesting science experiment to watch. Definitely a social experiment to see how people react to it in person. So I think it's all depends on the level of violence in a match, and also if there's a story being told. I mean, let's be honest, in American wrestling, sometimes the greatest matches that we ever saw were kind of bloody. The Dusty Rhodes Ric Flair feud.
Yeah,
Prime
that's
example.
true. That's true.
Dusty blood buckets. I mean,
Yep.
it's they used to say back in the days what red means green. I used to hear people say this all the time. All the old timers when I broke in the business used to say that to me all the time. Red means green, kid. If it makes money, it makes money. So I used to hear that all the time.
I know Abdullah the Butcher. I know he's got those
Yeah.
things in his head, and
You
people
take
would
casino chips and stick them in his forehead.
people would say, "Why would you do
Yeah.
that to yourself?" You're like, "Well, this one made me 100,000. This one made me 250,000." So that's why
Yeah.
that's why I did it.
Sure.
But yeah, I always get worried. Like I'm watching the was Death Market match yesterday when they're using all the light tubes. I'm always afraid someone's going to get something in their eye or something like that. But it was a good match, and they do a good job generally. The referee makes sure he steps on all the glass so nothing's sticking out. And you got a lot of people ringside pulling out the shards of glass. They do a good job of protecting the wrestlers there.
There's a match, and if I'll find it again, I'll send it to you. There's this corner guy in this match. Every time the glass is getting kicked up in the air, there's this Japanese kid was standing right there, and he was just one-handing it like this, catching the glass in midair and just taking it down. And I was like, wow. Like when you just watch this guy counteract with the flying glass, and he's just catching these like tubes left and right midair. And I was just like, that's a dedicated ring crew guy that makes sure nothing flies into the audience at all as best as possible. The thing is, in Japan, the light tubes are vanishing sooner than later because, the new laws that are coming into effect where a lot of the factories and businesses are now no longer producing those fluorescent light tubes. So what we're probably end up going to see within the next year or two is going back to the original days of how Big Japan was, where they had more gimmicky death matches, but they were really cool to watch, like the trampoline, the barbed wire trampoline, for example, or you might see a little bit more old school stipulations like a dog collar match or a few other things. So it's going to be interesting to see what innovations they come up with, but also what nods to the old school era of wrestling that they'll bring back.
Yuji Okabayashi, sorry. Do you think we'll see him back anytime soon?
I'm hoping so.
I've been watching his matches.
Same. That man was a human battle tank walking in ring, just a wrestler's wrestler. Him and Sekimoto, in my opinion, was probably one of the greatest tag teams that never got their roses from the whole entire world of wrestling. They deserve to be. They should have been on worldwide television the very first day they stepped out as a tag team. I know with Yuji, he made the comment that he was wanting to retire at age 40.
Yeah.
And to talk about a man of honor, when he turned 40, he stepped aside. And a lot of people were like, wow, you were really serious about, 40 years old, you want to retire from this. And there's been talks about him coming back.
I hope
but
so.
also, if he doesn't come back to the ring, I definitely would love to see Yuji and Sekimoto-san just run the BJW dojo the way they've been. Because, of course, Sekimoto, in my opinion, one of the all-time greats, probably one of the greatest workhorse wrestlers of all time. He's actually the head trainer of the Big Japan dojo.
Okay, man. So I got my fingers crossed. Yeah, hopefully he comes back for at least one final tour. Who's the sumo wrestler? I remember I was watching him.
Oh, Hama.
Yeah, Okabayashi defending the title against Hama. That was a terrific match.
Yeah, Hama is such a showman. Like he knows that he's limited on his size because how big he is, but yet he makes everything work, and he is such an entertainer and such a cool guy too. I love all those old sumo guys. When you talk to a lot of the sumo wrestlers, they're such characters when you get to know them, and they're such gentlemen. A lot of them are great guys to talk to. Always was a huge fan of sumo growing up. So Hama's amazing. Just he's one of those guys that I think a lot of people sleep on. And then you see that Yuji match. Him and Yuji had you were correct. The day you messaged me, I remember you watched that show.
Yeah, I was like,
you're like, this guy's amazing. This is a great match. And I was like,
know, it was terrific.
I know, right?
That was terrific. You don't expect that from Hanma, but he's great talent. Ethan Black is back. Should we try him again? You want to try him?
Let's try him again.
Let's try him again. Ethan, let's see if we get Ethan.
It was the whole Bob Barker thing. Come on down.
Come on, hey, Ethan. Can you hear us?
I can hear. Can you hear me?
Okay,
yes.
We can hear. That's better now.
Disclaimer, I was telling Lewis, sorry, Lewis, I'm going to cut you off. So I was trying to use my old laptop. That's probably you didn't hear me the first time. So I tried my other laptop, and it's like, nope, you're not working for me, brother. So I'm going to come on my tablet. So, and plus it's snowing outside, so it's probably why too.
Yeah.
Lewis,
you're getting 50 centimeters of snow today, aren't you?
I'm already at 50 centimeters. We're supposed to get 50
it's still snowing. Wow. Wow. So
John's got to do it now. You're fine.
We got John here from Big Japan Pro Wrestling. Do you have any questions for John or?
No, you pretty much beat me to all the questions, brother.
I beat you to all the questions.
Okay. Fire a couple of rounds off at me. Come on.
Well,
all right.
Go ahead.
Actually, I do go ahead. Sorry, Liz. I do go ahead. So if you had to pick anyone like AEW, WWE to come to Big Japan to do like one death match, who would it be?
Honestly, because he's familiar with deathmatch wrestling and he's really good at what he does. I think if I had to do my at least two picks, John Moxley would be a good choice, but also would like to see Eddie Kingston come to Big Japan. Eddie with that whole Kings Road style.
Yeah,
I would love to see him and Sekimoto square off against each other because I think that would be a war. But I also would love to see Yuya take on Eddie Kingston because that's a match too. That's money. Or also Kikuta because with him being such a fierce striker, and of course Eddie Kingston's a huge Kawada fan. It'd be like the closest thing for Eddie to actually have like that Kawada match.
Yeah,
so that'd be my two picks, at least from AEW to come over. For WWE, we got to look at that roster because man, they got a lot of new blood there too. Always been a big fan of the Steiner brothers. I think Braun Breaker would be an interesting choice.
Him and Sakimoto, that'd be dope.
Dude, that'd be a war.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That would be match of the year candidate. That'd be a match of the year candidate.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
That is a definition of a Haas fight. Yeah, absolutely.
And I agree with you with Moxley and Kingston, by the way, too. So, because Moxley bleeds every match.
yeah.
Not a death match, but if Okabayashi comes back, I'd love to see him 1-on-1 against Josh Alexander. That would be
Okabayashi first. Oh God. Yes.
That would be amazing.
Ooh. Yes. Lewis got to my heart, man.
It's got Ethan very excited there, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk Ender Kara, the junior heavyweight champion. A tremendous talent that a lot of people are sleeping on. Great talent. He's defending the title all over the world. He's going to be defending it in Denmark on February 24th.
Yes.
I think it's Jordan Oliver. How important is it for Big Japan Pro Wrestling to be spreading its name around the world? I know it's got to be important, but I'll let you.
Kara is a history maker. Because you think about this, he's the first Gaijin to win the BJW Junior Heavyweight Champion. If I'm correct, he's the first one to actually win the BJW Junior Heavyweight Championship, and he's the first one to take it to Europe. And for this belt to be now seen all over Europe, it's historical. So this matchup that he has coming up against Jordan Oliver, it's history making. And so Kara could definitely say now in his own rights, I'm a historical champion for this company. And I say this too, he's a phenomenal wrestler. Like, I think a lot of people who never really followed his career at first, when they were wondering, like, why is this guy getting this chance? Now they're watching him wrestle, and now it makes sense. It's like he's good, and he's a good talker on top of that. Like, he's as a heelish champion, he's good at riling up the Japanese crowd and and he knows that he's really good at his job, and he's good at everything that he does. And he's a guy that you could put him in that main event, big fight atmosphere, and he will deliver every single time.
Yeah, definitely a great talent there. So we actually me and Ethan, we're going to talk about Pro Wrestling Noah. Do you want to stick around and talk about?
Absolutely, love to.
Stick around.
Yeah,
stick around for the whole show, man. So yeah, so we have a new champion. Well, first of all, thanks, John, for talking to us about.
Absolutely.
Pro Wrestling.
Anytime you want me on the show to talk about BJW or just talk about wrestling in general.
Oh,
hell yeah!
You're always welcome, man. You're always welcome. So actually, before we go, why don't we just explain everybody about BJW Core again and how they can subscribe, and just talk about that for a little bit. Maybe get some subscribers. Then we'll go into Pro Wrestling Noah.
Of course. Go to www.bjwcore.com. It's only 888 yen per month for Americans. That right now, because of the yen fluctuation, it's about roughly 6 to 7 USD. I think you said for Canada, it's about 8 Canadian. And you can't beat it because the library goes all the way back to 2016. So you have a lot of shows to watch. And then on top of that, we're updating every single month of brand new shows. I know recently we dropped the catalog from November all the way up to current now of the events that just been happening. So anybody who hasn't had the chance to catch up with the modern era of Big Japan, is a good time to do that. And it's not too hard. You just click on the new shows. We have they call it movies, but it's like the new episodes and new shows to watch. If you can't get the subscription, you can actually go on YouTube and type up BJW movies, and there's actually their YouTube links. And of course, we always try to do at least a free match for the fans who want to watch BJW, and there's a lot of really good matches on there. I think right now on their playlist for free matches, I think we're up to almost like 81 free matches now. So there's a lot of content out there for them to get more involved and get to understand like the world of BJW. So, but yeah, definitely get the BJW core. If you haven't had a chance, for any of your fans and followers, they need to do that because there's a lot of good content. Even for the ones who are saying, but John, we're not really a deathmatch fan. It's okay because their strong style division is just as epic.
Well, I have to credit Ethan for getting me into BJW because he recommended it, and I was like, I'm not a deathmatch fan. He goes, trust me, it's not just death matches. So I watched it, and I fell in love with it. Like I said, Yuya Yoki is my guy, Okabayashi, and I started to watch some of the death matches as well with Ishikawa. So thank you, Ethan. You got me into and Ethan pointed out that it's only going to cost you about $8 a month. So so thanks, Ethan, for that.
A cup of Starbucks coffee, like it's not that bad. Like you get Starbucks, you can get BJW core. Like,
or for Canadian, if any Canadians, Tim Hortons.
Yes,
Tim Hortons.
And I'll say this as someone who's actually done some work in Canada doing wrestling. Your guys' coffee is phenomenal. Chef's kiss.
There you
go. It's
yeah.
John's got heat. John's got heat with American fans.
yeah. Get back over to Canada. I can hear it now. Middle fingers to me. I'll start coming out to "Oh Canada" now as my theme song. It's just me and the Rougeau brothers. I got this.
This is Paul Landstorm. This is the Canadian heavyweight title.
if I could be serious for a moment.
Underrated talent. I know it's a Japan podcast, but I got to shout Landstorm out.
There you go. No, it's okay. You could shout out whoever you like, man. It's okay, man. So let's jump into Noah, man. We have a new GHC heavyweight champion. Ethan, your thoughts, man?
Let's go, Wagner Jr. Let's go, man. I'm so pumped. I was hyped. I got spoiled, so I did watch before coming on here. Excellent match. I mean, Kato can never have bad matches. Let's just be honest here. And I'll be honest, when I first saw Wagner Jr., I wasn't really a big fan of him, like when he first came on, but he won me over, like in the last couple of years. I mean, his national title run's just great. His matches with Jack Morris are pretty good. I mean, honestly, Wagner Jr. deserved it, man. He deserved it. You deserve it.
He deserved it, but I wasn't thrilled that he won. Because I know Keno he's doing interviews over the past 2 weeks. So he has to lift up Noah. He's the one that's going to lift up Noah. He's going to hold on to this title. And he actually, we'll talk about it soon, but he actually took blame for Kazuchika Okada leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling because Noah's not competing enough for New Japan Pro Wrestling, and it's his job to lift it up, and then he loses the title. So I don't know. I wasn't thrilled. I mean, not taking anything away from Wagner Jr., great talent. Held the national title for almost a year, or it was not just about a year.
About a year, yeah.
Yeah, great 2023, but I'm a Keno guy. I wasn't too happy. What about John? What did you think about it, man?
You know, I'm actually been a big fan of the Wagner family. I got the chance to work with them over the years in Lucha Libre. So it's really refreshing to see that the son has progressed so much in his career, because I remember the first time I ever saw him was when his father lost his mask. And so then next thing you hear is, well, his son's going to Japan now. And it's like, okay. And now you're seeing his career go from what he was like originally, a tag team wrestler. And so now he's becoming like one of the main guys now that's carrying the company. And he's great. I'll say this all the time with the Wagner family. You'll never see a bad Wagner in ring. Every one of them can wrestle. Every one of them. And they're great wrestlers. I think some people will have to get adjusted to seeing him as champion. I don't know. He'll be a transitional champion, or he'll be one of those guys that will have a long reign. I'm interested in seeing how they'll book him as a talent, but I think that we'll see the rematch between him and the former champ.
Well, actually, his first title defense is going to be against Jake Lee. That's been confirmed. Jake Lee confronting him.
Jake Lee's a hell of
a talent. So I think was it March 31st, I think, the title match?
Yeah, March, at the end of March. And also some history. Wagner Jr. is the second foreigner since Eddie Edwards.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's the second what?
Foreigner, like Gaijin, to win the GC title since Eddie Edwards.
Eddie Edwards, first Mexican. I thought you said Eddie Guerrero for a second. Sorry. I thought I heard Eddie Guerrero, but no. It's like, Eddie Edwards. Yeah, he held it 2017, I believe.
17, yeah.
You know, you guys ever watch his brother wrestle?
No, who's his
Gallardo Dalmal?
Bro, he's a monster. Like, he is. You talking about
that's a beefy boy.
You're talking about a super heavyweight that can fly. Like, it's fun to watch him wrestle.
He's in GLEAT, Lewis.
He was in the world. Was he in the Real World Tag League, All Japan Pro Wrestling? Did he?
Yes.
Who did he team with again?
Hayato Tamura. Yeah.
Tamura. Yeah. So it's okay. I didn't know they were brothers. They were brothers.
Yeah, that's supposed to be, I think, his baby brother, but man, the baby brother eats a lot of the other brothers because
he's a beefy boy.
he's a big slab of meat flying through the air at you. If
you want a definition of beady man slap of meat, he's the definition.
Yeah, in a world of definitions of Haas wrestlers, like he's right up there with the Jeff Cobbs and the guys. What's his name? He's in WWE right now. Noah Bronson.
Bronson
Reed.
Bronson Reed. I mean, you talk about Jonah. Big Jonah. Yeah, I'm talking about big guys that can move. Man, he's phonamenal.
So you said here, Ethan, he's in GLEAT right now. I'll have to check him out. Why don't you get him into BJW, man? If he's phenomenal, opponent for Aoki, man.
That'd be a good match to mention to Saka. Yeah.
Hey. Oh, come on, John. Come on. Use your.
Make it happen, man. Make it happen.
We're gonna peer pressure him.
So I want to talk about Aoki for a second. One thing I noticed is he do a lot of crossovers because you'll see Noah stars in New Japan Pro Wrestling. You'll see Fuminori Abe. I hope I pronounce that right. I get
Fuminori. Yeah.
Fuminori. You'll see him in All Japan Pro Wrestling, but you don't really see Aoki crossing over to another promotion. I know he's wrestled for All Japan Pro Wrestling a few times, but could we see any more crossovers or somebody coming in from another promotion to challenge him?
You know, there's been a couple of shows recently that Big Japan. I know there's one that's actually just got dropped just about a week ago. It was actually a 6-man tag tournament.
Oh yeah, I'd seen that.
Yeah, and that was a fun show because there's like guys from DDT. Minoru Suzuki was on the show too. It was a huge. Talking about a crossover event. That was a crossover event for Big Japan. There's
Forbidden Door, John. Forbidden Door.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot about it because I watched it the day after. Because sometimes if you don't want to wait till Big Japan Core, people drop it on YouTube and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about the show, so I put it on. I'm like, oh Yogi, let's go.
Yeah.
There's a few Big Japan guys on there, but he was the main one.
All right, man. So let's move on with Noah. So we had there were two other every title match had a Mexican lucha libre star involved. The tag team match: Jack Morris, Anthony Green versus Dragon Bane, Alpha Wolf. Fantastic match. Did you see that match, Ethan?
Yep, I see that one. Yep,
that was spectacular.
That was semi-main, I think.
Spectacular match. I was disappointed. I wanted Wolf and Bane to win. Another great brother team, but glad they shook hands after the match. So, your thoughts on that one, man?
I thought it was pretty good.
Pretty good. It was spectacular, man. Pretty good.
Hey, now you trashed the GC title match. It's my turn.
I didn't trash it,
I know.
Well, you were just talking about a death match. If you keep this up, man, we're going to BJW. Have a light tune match.
Hey, John can commentate till it works.
Yeah, you can do the English commentary for our death match.
Exclusive. No, I just wanted. It actually was fantastic. I was just trying to get Lewis.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking.
No, I know. No, it was fun. I actually thought Wolf and Bane were gonna actually win them a few times. I like Morris and Green, but I think it's kind of time to Trish.
Yeah, I know they want to keep Morris the double champion, but I think it's there were so many near falls in that match. Like you said, I thought Bane and Wolf were going to pull it off on a number of occasions. But did you watch the match, John? Did you see that match?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Wolf and Bane. Those brothers are just amazing.
They're phenomenal.
I can see them in N1 victory.
Yeah.
What's that?
I can see them in the N1 victory. Either one of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, they're in I know you mentioned there's a new tag league coming up. Are they in that? I have it pulling up the victory.
They are. Yeah, there's 7 teams, and I think it's single block and top 2 meet. I think at mid-March, and then the winners go to the end of March. The same show as Wagner Jr. Jake Lee to face.
Oh, the championship.
Morris and Green for the tag titles.
Oh yeah, I am looking at it here. They are involved. There's quite a few tag teams. Wow, Keito Kiyomiya, Roy Oiwa, Shiozaki, and Kotage. A lot of good teams here, man. Manabu Soya and Shushi Kondo. That's a great team right there, man.
Congo's back.
I would love Congo to come back. I was a big fan. I was disappointed when they split. But I was disappointed. I wanted them to win. And people talk about brother tag teams like the Hardy Boys and the Young Bucks. Dragon Bane, Alpha Wolf, as a brother team, they could stand up to anybody in professional wrestling. In my opinion.
Oh, it's fit. I like how they go, they fly, and it's just like, whoa. I think it's Alpha Wolf. I think he goes so high, hello.
Well,
he's on the road.
He's catapulted into the into the air by his brother, right? So they usually.
Yeah, he's like, get over there. You're gonna go jump on people. But they're great though. I mean, I didn't really see them much in a Crash or AAA or Lucha Libre. I saw more in Noah. I've been impressed with them since day one.
I've been kind of spoiled. I got to watch those guys wrestle live in Chicago.
Oh wow! Yeah, now you just made me both jealous.
Man,
that's it. That's it. You know what? That's it. You made us jealous. You're done. Well, goodbye. Take care, John. No, we're kidding. Yeah.
Is there any other left? Any more secrets you got, John?
I got a couple of books of them. I mean, yeah, you can say that.
Yeah, well, over time, we'll learn the secrets. What are your thoughts on Daga? I'm not the biggest Daga fan. I was hoping O'Hara pulled it out, but your thoughts on Daga winning, defending his title for the 3rd time successfully? Anybody? Ethan, go ahead.
All right. Was the match? What match was? I did actually see this match too. It was kind of there for me. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of figured Daga was gonna retain. I do. I kind of wish Allred did win, but they want to keep the Lucha Libre thing going. So yeah, I do. I'm not a huge fan of Daga, but he's just there for. I like him better than Hayata. That's just. me.
I
but
disagree. I like Hayata better, but yeah, I'm not a. What's Hajime looked like he broke his nose at the end of the match though, when he took the that Diablo. What was the Diablo wings? Looked like his nose.
yeah,
was
Diablo.
busted. Yeah.
I didn't notice that until I seen him when he's leaving. I was like, he was going like this. I thought maybe he was just selling, and then like I saw a little bit of blood. I was like,
Naga had blood all over his chest from that, man. That was pretty bad, man. Your thoughts on that, John? Your thoughts on that, man?
You know, I didn't have the chance to watch that match, but Dog
okay.
is a real solid hand in the ring. So, sometimes you have matches that are going to be really great, and sometimes you just have matches just there. So, I haven't had a chance to watch it. When I do, I'll definitely let you have my feedback on our Messenger.
Fair enough. Do you see any other matches, Ethan or John? I watched one other match because I woke up late. I just watched the opener. Anybody see the opener? LJ Cleary, Ninja Mac, and Alejandro.
oh, I did see that one. It took me a second. I was like, wait, what was the opening?
Yeah,
I did see that one.
That was a terrific. LJ Cleary is quite a tremendous talent there, man. That was but I thought Ninja Mac was going to win because he usually wins these matches. But I was happy to see LJ Cleary get the victory there.
Technically, he could get a hardcore title match.
That's well, he didn't. He defeated Alejandro though. He didn't pin Ninja.
Oh, okay, never mind. Disregard. Well, I mean, still, he could say technically he did beat him in the match. Technically.
I don't know why Ninja Mac was like yelling at Alejandro during the match where we're supposed to be tag team partners, but it's a triple threat match. They're not supposed to be tag team partners. They've teamed in the past, and but I thought that was a kind of and Ninja Mac getting upset with Alejandro because he lost the match. But what does that have to do with Ninja Mac? Why would Ninja Mac be upset that Alejandro lost the match?
Oh, sorry. Technically, LG Clear could technically challenge the Dragon Gate, open the Twin Gate titles, because technically Alejandro's a champion, so he can technically say, "Hey, I pinned you. Give me a title shot."
That's true. I had my I had Dragon Gate for a bit. They charge a little too much money for the streaming service, so and I have too much streaming services, so I canceled. And I told you, Ethan, I can't listen to this, John. I canceled Dragon Gate, and first of all, it's a little too expensive, and two, I have too many streaming services, but they're still charging me after I canceled it. And I sent them an email, but no one responded to me. I know BJW would never do that to Lewis Harlan, but Dragon Gate's trying to screw me over.
Lewis with the cheap shot. That was great. But he's not Robo Dragon Gate. It is a little price for Canadian. It's $15.
Oh wow!
Okay.
It's $15.
I think American might be maybe 13. If I'm guessing, I don't know.
And it's okay. I mean, you got Shun Skywalker is okay. I mean, they make a big deal out of him. He's not, in my opinion, it's not that tremendous of a talent. I don't know how anybody else feels about Shun Skywalker.
Boom, Lewis with the hot take.
Easy there, Ethan.
No.
So what?
Lewis is like, I got a cup of Tim Hortons hot coffee for you. He's waiting to throw it on him. He's going to throw it on him. Take this.
Yeah, take that. So yeah, I'm not and Lewis.
I'm having a fun time.
Louis Monte is the what's the name of the championship again in Dragon Gate?
Open the Dream Gate.
Open the Dream Gate. Yeah, so that's Louis Monte or Marte.
Monte, you were right the first time.
Monte, yeah. So he's okay. He's a good talent, but I'd rather watch Yoki. I'd rather watch Keno. I'd rather watch DDT Pro than over Dragon Gate. So speaking
I don't blame you.
What's that?
I don't blame you.
What are your thoughts on Dragon Gate there, John?
Actually, I still have a really good working relationship with Dragon Gate.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry.
No, I mean, also I've been a commentator. I'm a wrestling promoter.
Now I'm going to get the Starbucks in my face.
But Law Estrella from Dragon Gate has lived with me and my family off and on for the last 2 years, and developed a pretty good friendship with him. And the promoter of Dragon Gate is a good friend of mine as well too.
Okay.
I think I'd say this though. Their training school probably produces some of the best talent coming out of Japan. They've been a hotbed for that. I mean,
Ryo Tanaka,
bro, you talk about a future guy. He's going to be a big star, like a big star. He's so good.
Can I show?
I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous of Lewis right now.
Show this off.
That's pretty awesome. Miyahara.
That's a Kento Miyahara autographed that for me. I got that from actually. I don't know. Are you familiar with Cyrus?
Yeah.
Cyrus is a good friend of mine. He's a good guy. People are scared of him. They think he's a monster, but in real life, he's a big, big teddy bear.
Almost every big
gonna put you for a
usually he's a pretty nice guy.
But Cyrus, awesome dude. He got this for me, and I'm very.
I'll tell you a story quick, John. So I was at a dollar store, and Lewis is like, "Are you ready for this?" I'm like, "Uh-oh, what's going on here?" Boom, Kento picture. I'm like, "You lucky bastard!"
Yeah, that's me right there. Two Lewis from Kento Miyara. I was very proud to get that. Very proud.
That's so awesome, dude.
But I'm sorry about the Dragon Gate stuff, man. If you're, I'm just not the biggest fan. I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon.
Everyone has their opinions, and I value a person's opinion. That's okay to have a difference of opinion.
All right.
Cool,
man. Cool. What else we got? Was there a New Japan Pro Wrestling show today? I think there was.
There was, yeah, at Corrigan Hall.
Okay. That's right. There was the junior heavyweight tag team titles. Let me pull up. Do you know who won that match? Was there a title?
I did. So I didn't watch it, but I don't care if I get spoiled. So, but I know who wins. If you want me to say who won.
No, I have the results here. It looks like there was a title change, but go ahead. You can talk about it.
Okay, so Drill Maloney and Clark Cars regained them again for the second time, and Maloney has a torn bicep right off the bone. So he did literally a driller killer with one arm.
Oh gosh! So and they won. So they're gonna have to relinquish the titles though. Then right? If it came right off the bone.
Apparently, he said 2 days ago. I guess it came right off the bone. I'm like, how you wrestling? Yeah, how is he wrestling? And he's got a cage match on February 11th. No pun intended. Next Sunday, actually.
It says here Jeff Cobb was injured also. Was Jeff Cobb injured?
Yeah, he's thigh, I think they said, or hip.
Okay.
But because they were doing like a best of like a single, they were basically doing Bull Cup War Dogs versus Unite Empire like series matches, and then he was supposed to face Coughlin, but because of the injury, they put Gray O'Con in that match to substitute for him. And then, by the way, on that show, Hinari Gabe Kidd, I heard nothing but good things on that one.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Looks like it ended in a double knockout. I was going to ask you if you watched that match. I'm going to have to watch that.
No, yeah, but I heard everybody on my Twitter, and I was like, go watch it. That's a good match.
So, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Where do you think Okada's going to end up? Do you think he's going to end up? I'll ask you that one. Where do you think he's going to end up? Does he end up in AEW, WWE?
I'll let John answer first.
This is the most interesting of all the questions about Okada right now is where, because if you look at the factors, he's always stated that he wants to have his WrestleMania moment, his WrestleMania match, because everyone who's in pro wrestling, that's a big stage to be on, probably the biggest of all stages. But on the other hand, he has a lot of friends in AEW, and I don't know. In all honesty, I could definitely see him being in AEW at this moment.
Okay,
I can see him going there, but I would feel like he would get lost in the shuffle after a couple.
Yeah,
months, to be honest,
definitely would. He definitely would.
I would rather see him in WWE if he has to come to the United States to work for one of the major two. I feel like he would probably be better off at TNA Wrestling because his last appearance in TNA was very beautiful. Definitely when they said when he came back to the ring after the show was over with, he actually gave the mat a kiss as a thank you to TNA, because it's now you talk about that full circle story between that. Yeah. When he was in Impact Wrestling, he hated his time there, but when he came back, it was a different regime, it was a different management, and they made things better for him. And he left on a really good note with Impact Wrestling, or now known as TNA Wrestling. But
do you think he would leave New Japan Pro Wrestling to go to TNA? I mean, if he's going to leave New Japan Pro Wrestling, it's going to be WWE or AEW. That's my opinion, though.
But as a former wrestler, I'll say this: when you work for a company for so long and you have done everything in your power to do what you can, and you've literally have won everything there can be won, sometimes you want a new challenge. So, but I see him more than likely going to WWE. If he had to play his cards right and really look at the full picture, I see that WWE would give him a better option to be one of the main guys coming in, especially with now Triple H running the show. I see him going to WWE. But on the other hand, I know Tony Khan supposedly has this big announcement coming up, a huge announcement. But he usually always has a huge announcement.
Every 2 weeks he's got a huge announcement.
I mean, he could say like, "Hey guys, I went to Starbucks and bought coffee." Huge announcement. You know, what I mean, I'm just saying, like,
Starbucks is our new advertising.
yeah, not on cocaine. You know, so I mean, hey, you know, but
free cocaine with ticket purchase.
Shout out to cocaine. The stuff of champions since 1980s. Anyway, horrible joke. Horrible joke.
Instead of ice cream bars, they get this.
Yeah.
A little baggie.
Is a brand new Herbie cookie for Herb Abrams reference there. Yeah. Oh man. Shout out to Tony Khan for being such a good sport.
That was so. Hold on, one second.
My future potential career at AEW has went out the door with that comment.
There you go.
Hunter,
I heard those jokes on that BodySlam podcast.
Yeah. Lewis Harlan sent that whole thing to me. You are so screwed, Buster. No,
disclaimer: I do like AEW, but sometimes he's easy to pick on. Just disclaimer. But
no. He probably drinks a lot of coffee and hopped up on Red Bull. That's what I'm hoping for. That's for the love of God. But my pick is probably WWE. I think he'll see the main picture of. I don't want to get lost in the shuffle. You guys always are constantly hiring someone every 2 weeks. I want to make sure I'm one of the main guys. I mean, Will Ospreay was supposed to be a huge signing for AEW, and I feel like even Will Ospreay's been kind of lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, I mean, what's he doing? I mean, I don't really watch much AEW, but I mean, is he doing anything over there?
He does his fully because he's doing his New Japan stuff first, so he's waiting till after.
Okay.
Sunday. Forgot what day it was for a second. Next week to do.
Maybe another better example is Jay White, because I feel like Jay White has been kind of.
There we go.
Yeah. Any chance he says screw it and just stays with New Japan Pro Wrestling?
I think he kind of gave him his resignation pretty much.
Right.
His last show is the end of February.
Yeah, that's supposed to be his farewell.
What's your take on Keno saying that that he accepts the blame for Okada leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling because Noah's not giving them enough,
That was funny. That was so funny.
You think that was meant to be a joke, or you think he was being serious there?
Mix of both, I think.
Okay.
I think he tried to start his own angle because I mean, with the whole Kito Kiyomiya thing a couple years ago now.
Oh yeah.
I know he wanted Noah to do that Muto last show in the Tokyo Dome. If I had to go Japanese promotions, I could see Okada going there. But North America wise, Johnson, I could see him in WWE. Honestly, my opinion, I kind of hope so. But I would not be surprised if he does AEW because, Johnson, he's friends with the Young Bucks, Bryan Danielson. If TK does the offer, he could still live in Japan and fly over to AEW, Ibushi and Ospreay. I could see him do that. More honorable mention TNA, but if I had to pick one, I say AEW.
I would have to say WWE because he's got friends in New Japan Pro Wrestling as well, but he decided not to stay there, right? So I don't think that's going to be really much of a factor. I think
all right. That was a good point by Lewis. That was a really
good point.
Yeah,
that was a really good point.
That's going to be much of a factor. So I think he's going WWE. Actually, I think he's going NWA. He's going to start with NWA.
There you go.
No, WWE. I think WWE is going to get his WrestleMania moment, and
Lewis,
we'll see him back in New Japan Pro Wrestling, hopefully in a couple of years. So, well, I was upset when he was leaving, but what can you do? Can't do anything. Right.
Speaking of MLW, by the way, Satoshi Kojima became the new MLW World Champion.
Right. Kojima, he's got to be 50 something years old, but he still got it, man. He still has it.
Man, he doesn't really age in ring. He could still go with the best of them, and I was always a huge Kojima fan.
Oh yeah, I love Kojima.
It was funny the last MLW show before he won the title, he wrestled Tom Lawlor. That was a good match, by the way. And after the match, everybody threw bread at him because they were announced a couple shows before because at Reload he faced Callahan. So when he announced him challenging Kane for this show last night, everybody threw bread at him, and he's like, "Ooh, bread."
He just started picking up and eating it and stuff.
I think after he won the match, he was giving his post-match speech won the title, and he's like, "I'm going to go drink beer and eat bread," and he left the ring.
His first 2-time world champion, by the way.
Yes.
And Nagata was on there too. He wrestled
Jacob for 2.
Thank you. Wow, I blanked on that. That was actually a pretty fun match. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, that was on Fight, right? Fight Plus. I haven't seen that yet.
Now known as Triller, I believe.
Triller. I'm sorry, Triller Plus. Yeah.
Triller.
Man, it's taken me forever to adjust to that because I've always called that Fight TV for so many years.
Me too.
Yeah. So what else we got, man? What's what do you guys think? Katsuhiko Nakajima, his run in All Japan Pro Wrestling.
I like the Rocky look.
I don't know. I don't like the look at all. I like his old look, but I know he wants to make a change. I know he comes out to the press conference now wearing sweats. But I'm not. I'm a big fan. I love Nakajima, but I'm not. I kind of wish he kept the old look. But
yeah. No, I like the. Oh, sorry, Lewis. I mean, since he won the Triple Crown, like his match with Kento at the last All Japan show of 2023 was good. I did like their Noah one a tiny bit better, but they're still both. I mean, it's Kento. He really has bad matches. His match with Charlie Dempsey at the beginning of the year was really good. Honestly, all his title offenses have actually not been bad.
I didn't like the match against Dempsey. I wasn't a fan of that one. But did you see that match, John?
Yeah, I actually got to see it.
It was okay. I don't think it was. I don't think it was up there with the Kento match, but it was okay.
Oh God!
No. Styles were I don't think they had great chemistry in the ring. Now that's just my opinion.
No, I think Nakajima's a phenomenal wrestler. I remember when he first started out as a teenager. And watching him progress to what he is now, it's really, really fascinating.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm surprised that he's not getting more. We're not seeing him in other promotions. He is a freelancer. He left Pro Wrestling Noah. I don't think he left Pro Wrestling Noah to wrestle in All Japan Pro Wrestling. I think he wanted to. He was hoping to get to the States as well, and maybe do another top promotion. I don't know. You think we'll see him in the U.S.? I know. Tony Khan said months ago that he would have some interest in Nakajima, but I don't think anything happened with that. Well, obviously nothing has happened. But do you think we'll see him back in Noah? Because he is a freelancer, and it doesn't seem like people are knocking down his door to get him into their promotion.
I think with Nakajima, a lot of it has to be based on what he's asking for a pay to come to wrestle in the States, because a lot of promoters are willing to pay for certain guys. But also in the United States, too, let's be honest, the average American wrestling fan who may not watch Japanese wrestling may not know who he is compared to like an Okada or other guys. It's kind of a shame because I think Nakajima deserves to be on the same mantle as all those guys. And,
yeah.
But what I'd love to see him in the States, I would book him if I could in the United States for a show, because he's a killer of a wrestler. He's great.
He's amazing. I mean, he did a tour he toured the States. I think 2021.
2 years.
Yeah, he was supposed to wrestle Josh Alexander, but that match got canceled.
Yeah.
That match was apparently the promoter wasn't paying anybody. So there was
I forgot about that because I think
that was a show in Queens too, where I'm from. I think that was a Queens show.
Yeah, it was a New York thing. I remember that.
Yeah. And I think Josh Alexander took control, and the fans were there, but nobody was getting paid. But they put on a show anyway for the fans.
Like Ultimo Dragon was on that card, and Alberto Del Rio. Like they all were like, you know what, we're gonna go out there and give these fans what they came to see.
Well, I mean, you pay for the show, right? I mean, like you don't want to be like sorry, like I mean, if you have to, you have to. But you know what? But I remember that was a whole drama for that was my whole Twitter for 3 days, and Alexander's like, I don't like calling people out, but I have to in this game.
Alexander never calls people out unless he has to, right?
Unless necessary, yeah.
It's necessary, I should say, yeah. But I was disappointed. Hopefully, we'll see Alexander. It seems like everybody wants to see Alexander against their top star. Alexander is a great talent. But I'm hoping we see him in the G1 this year. I mean, I think he's earned it. Do you think we'll see him in the G1? How would he perform in the G1? Do you think?
Oh God, if it's his first, I know mostly in New Japan, for people that debut in G1, they go between 4 to 8 points at the most. But with him, I could see him being maybe if they do 20 back to the 20 block, or 20 person block of 10. I could see him being 8 to 12, maybe. I don't see him like going to semifinals or where. I can see him if I had to go at a ceiling height, like 12 maybe. But between 8 and 12 is what I'm trying to say. But I mean, who knows what New Japan? They might bring back the 4 block for the 3rd year.
Yeah, no, I'd like to see him. I mean, with Okada gone and Tamatanga gone, you're going to need some new guys in the G1. So I'd love to see Josh Alexander in the G. I think he would do great. I think he would do fantastic. What do you think there, John?
No, I'm the same way. I agree with Ethan on that. I could definitely see him easily getting 12 points easily. Josh Alexander is such a phenomenal wrestler.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, I used to watch him on the Indies here in Canada, and I actually have developed a decent relationship with him. So, I used to watch him, when he was wrestling in front of like 100 people or 25 people here in the Indies. So it was good to see him progress to get where he is. And I know he was in Japan. He was him and
October, Motor City Machine Guns.
Motor City Machine Guns, yeah, for the never openweight tag team 6-man.
Great match, by the way. That was a 4-star match, honestly.
All right, man. We're running. We're over an hour. We're having we're rolling along here. I'm having a blast. I got one more thing to talk about, and if anybody else wants to talk about anything, that's fine. Seiki Yoshioka, former Pro Wrestling Noah star, is set to compete for All Japan Pro Wrestling 3 shows in February. Very excited about that. They're all going to be multi-person matches. Big fan of Yoshioka. Great talent. Your thoughts on him in All Japan Pro Wrestling now? Well, he's returning, but your thoughts on we'll go with Ethan. Ethan,
yeah.
Your thoughts on Yoshioka?
I missed him. I know he took when did he take his break? October?
October 2023, yeah.
That's right, yeah. I know he took a few months off, and I know he came back at 01 first.
01 in Gleet, I think he
matched it. He was actually ugly, the show that just went by, because he's part of Strong Heart. So spoiler. Sorry, guys.
Man, damn it. No, I knew that.
Why?
Lewis, damn it. Why? But why? No, he's great. Underrated talent. Hey, now you didn't. Hey.
I knew that before.
Underrated talent, though. He's so honestly. I'm not saying this because John's here, but I could see him in Big Japan.
Yeah,
in juniors division.
Same.
You know what? Screw it. Put him in the world strong division for a match with.
Oh yeah. Well, he's a freelancer. He can go wherever he wants. So maybe let's get him into Big Japan.
Is he challenging for the junior title in All Japan? Speaking of junior title.
No. But February 25th. It's interesting because he's teaming with a Big Japan star, Fuminori Abe, Rising Hayato, and Hikaru Sato, and they're taking on Dan Tamura, Inoue, Haruki Doi, and Brother Yashi. If he gets a victory over Tamura, he could definitely challenge for that title, right? Tamura, the All Japan Pro Wrestling Heavyweight Champion.
That's going to be really good. Abe teaming him with him. You talk about another guy that's a sleeper MVP of freelance wrestlers and guys who work for BJW, but they work for other places. Fuminori is so good. You're talking about a Minoru Sawa style, junior heavyweight. He has all those strikes. He has all those different submission locks. He's at the MMA background. Like Abe is a phenomenal wrestler to watch.
He's a freelancer. He's a freelancer. He's not part of the.
He's mainly with Big Japan, but he also does other shows too. Like he'll work other little like 01 different other little promotional shows. But Abe is one of my favorite guys to watch, and the Astronauts, the tag team that he's part of, is such a great team to watch. Man, I'm so glad to see they're actually coming to the States too. So. That's going to be really fun to see how the American crowd takes those two guys.
And they're going to Germany, I think, for WXW, I believe.
Yeah. So the world's going to start seeing how good the Astronauts really are.
That's good because they're a great tag team, and they should definitely spread all over the world, and everyone should get an opportunity to see them. Hopefully, they'll come to Canada. They'll come to Windsor, Ontario, and I'll be able to see them.
There you go.
So there you go. But I could always drive to.
Then come to Nova Scotia. Then you could go somewhere else.
Yeah, as long as there's no snow in Nova Scotia, they'll show. But and get them in Chicago. Oh, since you're here, why don't you talk about the promotion you got in Chicago?
Oh yeah, my promotion, Chaotic Combat Wrestling. Yeah,
Yeah. Go ahead.
where you got,
No way, that's your promotion?
yeah, that's mine.
Oh wow! You just scored points with Ethan there, John.
I'm kind of surprised he had the
Oh.
pop for it. He's like, "That's you."
Oh.
You know, like, yep,
He's-
that's
Holy shit! Holy shit!
He's
Yeah,
gonna go buy
I
a
mean-
Tim Hortons. He's getting a Tim Hortons gift card. He's gonna ship it out to you.
Ethan, you're selling my heart here now. Don't do that to me. But
Sorry.
Well, yeah, no, that's my promotion. We're actually setting our debut show for June. We actually do have a couple of Big Japan talent that is actually current roster members. Josh Crane, Remington Roar, those guys who've done tours of Big Japan are working our shows as part of the company's backbone, but also I've been in talks with the office about bringing over a couple of the Japanese talent when they do make that decision on which one they want to send over first. Fingers crossed, hopefully for Kamatani. I think he's one of the guys that they've been kind of working on since it's been his goal to come to the United States. But yeah, pretty much kind of like the platform is very similar to Big Japan. People might say, "Oh, you're a hardcore company," and I will say, "Nope, we do everything." You want good junior heavyweights? We got them. You want strong style? We got that too. Haas fights, we'll bring that. We want to showcase a lot of good talent that deserves to be seen in Japan, but also deserves to be seen all over the United States. And we're bringing talent not only from the Midwest, but we also got talent from other parts of the United States, and we got some Canadian talent coming down, and also talent from Puerto Rico, Texas, just different parts of the area that you don't see all the time in the Midwest. So it's going to be a really cool show. Debut event. Lewis, I think I've sent you the photos of our venue they're working at. It's going to be a beautiful hotel venue, so nice ballroom setting. So it's a good time for wrestling. But yeah, for the people who haven't checked us out on Facebook, Chaotic Combat Wrestling, just hit us up. We're announcing a lot of the new talents and people that are coming in to work for us and the partnerships that we're developing. And did we lose Lewis?
We did, yeah. Yeah, he just lost power.
Oh no.
BodySlam, what do we do?
Well, let me see if he messaged us or something. I think he was sent this message to me.
Yeah, he just PM'd me. He said he lost power. Angry emoji face, anger emoji face, anger emoji face.
Well, Ethan, I guess now we could we got to wrap up the show, I guess, or
I guess so. We might have to. Sorry, guys. I know Lewis hosts this, and he just lost power, so we're the guests this week.
yeah, for a time the guest actually becomes the host. It's
yeah,
the first time
right?
ever for a podcast.
Yeah. Because I was trying to come on because I have an old laptop. It's a couple years. I was like, because I heard you guys, but you couldn't. I'm like, okay, well, I got everything on mute and stuff, and then I tried my newer laptop, but that one was having issues. I'm like, okay, I'll try my tablet. If it doesn't work, I am throwing this in the garbage.
Hey guys, I'm back on my phone. I lost power. Sorry about that, guys.
No problem.
Sorry
Lewis
about
is-
that. It's dark in here. The lights just went out. I don't know what's going on. There's no snow here. The weather here is fine, but we just lost power. So, I guess let me put my glasses back on because I look like an idiot. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, we hear you.
All right. Yeah. Why don't we just sorry about that. Why don't we what were we talking about before I lost power?
Oh, we were
We
talking
don't
about
know
the promotion.
Okay. Should we keep going or do you wanna we're at almost an hour and a half. Do you wanna wrap this up and
Yeah, we can wrap it up. I gotta
why
go
don't we
shovel.
wrap this up and maybe we could do this again another time, man. We could all join forces again.
Yes, I would like that.
Oh
Sounds
look,
great.
the power just came back on. I just got power back.
You should do the whole hand raise and then the lights come on. It's
Yeah,
off.
it's
Like,
just like the whole Undertaker thing. The whole Undertaker thing, but yeah. All right, so we're gonna wrap it up now, and guys, thank you so much for joining me, and let's
It's
do
always an
this
honor.
again soon.
It was on it.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
No, you too.
Bye-bye.
Right.